I had the question put to me very directly recently, does God judge? They were asking me as a student of science of mind for a long time, in my esteemed opinion, does God judge? And I said, well, yes and no. Mostly no, but a little bit of yes. Here's how I put it together. See what you think. We're back to the terrestrial and the celestial spheres. At the celestial level, at the universal level, no, God does not judge. Why not? God can't. It's not possible. Because for God to judge, God would have to separate itself from itself, would have to step outside of its own being and look back in and find something wrong and call it out. Well, you can't do that if you're infinite, because there's nowhere else to go. You can't step outside yourself because there is no outside yourself. Now realize here we're not talking about a personality, but if we're going to say, even launch the question, does God judge, then we're going to look at it momentarily as a personality. Okay, if you have to, but realize it's infinite. So it can't judge its own being, because the one thing God can't do, and yes, there is something God can't do. It is no secret what God can do, says the old hymn, but there is something that God cannot do, and that is stop being God, even momentarily. The divine nature, the infinite mind, the ultimate ground of all being, whatever you want to call it, it can't not be that. So it's going to keep being that at the level of its infinitude. So it can't judge itself. You might say, well, okay, it can't judge itself. What about me? Well, who do you think you are? You're the experience that it's having of itself. So it can't judge you either, because it doesn't see you as separate from itself. It sees you just as a place where it's learning more about itself by means of your life and your life experience. So no, it can't judge you. But you can judge you. And you can judge the person sitting next to you. And you know this because you do. Maybe not now. I hope not now. I hope you're not sitting there judging the person sitting next to you. That would be creepy, wouldn't it? Look at them. See what they're wearing. Don't say anything about it. Just have a judgment about it. No, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that, right? But you have your short list. You have your short list of people that you judge. People from your past, people from your present, people in the news. You have a short list. I read a quote the other day. It says, I know I can't change other people, but if that rule ever changes, I've got a list. And because you can judge and I can judge, and because we've already established that we are the experience that God or the divine nature is having of itself by means of us, because of that, then technically, yes, at the human level, the divine nature is capable of judgment by means of its individuated beings. And this is because we can, at this level, operate as though we were not infinite, operate as though we were not connected to one another or to the divine nature. We can pretend, and in our pretending, we have spiritual authority to do foolish things and to get away with them, we think.